As we are currently still in the interlude season, I kind of want to take a look at some fun Pokemon here for the Open Great League. And today we're going to take a look at my Shadow Mewtwo. This Pokemon was released twice, basically, for you to get low enough, basically, to go under 1500 CP. And yeah, today we're going to take a look at how strong this Pokemon actually is, as it's actually got buffed recently. This Pokemon got buffed recently, as Confusion got buffed. And with that, you're going to have now the option to have a lot of fast move pressure, as well as charge move pressure with a Pokemon like this. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have here a team of our Steelix. Shadow Steelix, by the way, one of the strongest Pokemon in the current Great League meta, having so much like neutral play especially. We have the Sableye as our Say-Stop, is supposed to be kind of also our anti-fighter, where Mewtwo, of course, our better anti-fighting type Pokemon. We try to align ourselves here, of course, most of the times. In the back, there's actually going to be Aerodactyl with a Dragon Breath. Shadow Aerodactyl is also very, very spicy. This Pokemon got access to Dragon Breath this season, but it's not going to make this Pokemon any better, to be fair. But here, in comes the opponent Celio. We're going to try our best to get them low. We're going to shield this move up. I think I have to shield this move up. I do super effective fast move damage here. I think it's best for me to shield up the Surf. Go for the Psychic Fangs and try to threaten the opponent here. Let's see on how this is going to go. They are forced to go for a Surf in order to knock me. But we see here already we do a lot of fast move pressure. And that gives me some hope that I might be able to farm them down with just my Mewtwo. So let's see on how this is going to go. They swap out into the Aerodactyl and I can go for one. And I can go for a second Confusion, and they're gone. And that's the benefit of Mewtwo. Mewtwo is just so strong when you have the option to farm something down. And here we have a horrible lead and a horrible Say-Stop. Those battles are, by the way, a little bit older, like this is more from the beginning of the interlude season, but I haven't been able to commentate them because my December and my January was quite busy, and so now I'm kind of finally able to take a look at them, but I don't remember anything. So like for me, it's kind of the first time really watching those battles as well, because it's been quite a bit ago already. So let's see on how things gonna go here. I have no idea if we're gonna be able to win this matchup here, but let's see on if we're gonna be playing our best at least. We know that there's still the Marowak in the back, and so I guess my best play is to go into my Steelix here, try to get energy and try to get a crunch off against the opponent's Marowak, which then maybe allows us to put them into Confusion range. This is exactly, I think, what I'm going to do here. I'm going to let the move go because I don't know what they have in the back, and I'm mostly going to need my shield from my Mewtwo. I go for the crunch here in order to try to get them low, but the opponent makes a great call as they decide to use a shield here, and we can now sadly not knock them out anymore as they do more damage than we do. But we see the final Pokemon, which would have been a Sableye. No chance. A great catch there from the opponent on the Side Strike. He is still, like, that's double resist Side Strike and still does so much damage. Okay, fantastic lead for us next. That's going to be amazing, and it's going to be actually even better here. The Celio coming in is actually really good for us as well, because our backline is more neutral, but I will be able to do some solid damage here, and I can put them down to farm down range, maybe for even the Sableye. I still should very likely invest a shield here, because it's going to be a self-guaranteed, and I can get out of this matchup here with a tiny bit of energy as well, which is how they are overfarmed by one, which allows me to go for a Power Gem against the opponent's Charger Bug then. And I feel like that's going to be quite handy. Like, Power Gem should knock them out, especially with the fast move pressure. They go back into their Charger Bug, which means I can overfarm by a little bit as well. Go for the Power Gem, super effective hit. That should be enough to knock them yet as well, right? It is not yet, but they also swap out here into the Citadel, buff the season as well with Polo Snow. It's an interesting one. Let's see how this is going to go. Like, I'm not too sure if we're going to be able to win this or not. I fear a little bit that the opponent's Charger Bug is going to win this for them. But it's the game is not over. Like, it's not even close to being over. I am going to be able to go for the Psychic Fangs here, which is going to allow us to get the shield from the opponent. I go into my Mewtwo, I do some solid damage, but can we take a hit here? Can we still win a battle? The Avalanche is going to one-shot our Mewtwo, but they swap out into the Charger Bug and they didn't get the move off, which means I can still reach another charge move, and Sableye will seal the deal here. Sableye will win us this battle, and we can move on to the next opponent, where we will face the Abomasnow in the lead. That is a horrific lead for us. We have resisted fast move damage, and they do so much more damage now as well, because they not only received the buff towards their Powder Snow, they also received a buff towards the Weather Ball only recently, which makes it such a difficult Pokemon to deal with, and they swap out into the Bastion. I sure went for my charge move earlier on. Like, this is still okay, because we need to kind of get them low anyway in order for us to deal with them. We don't have the best answer for Bastion on this team, and we already encountered our second one here in battle number 4, but it's looking quite difficult. The one benefit, by the way, here as well that I have with this team, that's why I kind of want to try to run this team, is that I have Psychic Fangs on the Steelix, which actually in matchups that are difficult for us, for example, can help our Mewtwo to do more fast move damage, which is kind of what I want to try to achieve here with this team. I want to have Pokemon with fast move pressure in the back and have like the Steelix in the lead that can drop the opponent's defense. But yeah, I'm going to be forced to let the Flamethrower go through. I hope they go back into their Abama Snow. I can go for a Crunch, which does a little bit more damage. But this game is looking very tough here. They let the move go, which is going to be alright. It's going to be better for us here as well. And they sub out into the Charger Bug. They sadly just do too much damage. And we have no chance of winning this battle as, yeah, we sadly have 2 shields still on both sides here, I think. So, yeah, now it's only 1 shield there on the opponent's side, but it's going to be a good game as they can farm me down. So far, so neutral. We have the Wigglytuff against us here. That's going to be a matchup that we actually can enjoy. But in comes now the Ludicolo, and I don't really have the best answers to this Pokemon. I missed 1 bubble there total, but it's okay. We're going to be able to sub out into our Sableye. I should be able to outspeed them here afterwards if I go straight, but I don't go straight. I use a shield here. The reason for the shield, they could have went for Leaf Storm there. Leaf Storm would have not knocked me out straight away. Now, this is going to be just a Weather Ball. I know that guaranteed. And I know that I should be even able to farm them all the way down here. I don't think I have to throw it all. I don't have to throw. And I end up here with 2 Charge Moves Dot. And I didn't get my move off. And I was so furious. That was so stupid. Because if I would have been able to get the move off, I would have been very likely getting the shield there or getting some damage in. And both of which I would really appreciate here right now. But neither I have. And so I'm now kind of forced to rely on our Steelix. And as we see the Shadow Ball coming in, we're going to try to use this as an opportunity to farm them all the way down. They are debuffed. They can go for the Surf here, but like their defense is dropped. I should be able to farm them. And they swap out somehow at a point where they should have not been able to swap out. I think my fast move should have knocked them out here at this point. But again, if I would have got here the Power Gem off with my Sableye, I either would have got the final shield, which would have been handy here, or would have been able to get some damage in. If I would have got the damage, I think I would have been better off. I would have been able to very likely just win the battle there. But they're going to be able to now debuff us, and there's no chance of us winning this battle anymore. Just in the lead is honestly not too bad. We're going to have 2 solid answers towards this Pokemon with our lead as well as our Sableye. We're going to be able to swap out into our Sableye actually here as well to try to catch a Surf. It looks more like a Shadow Ball if you ask me. It is going to be a Shadow Ball, and we're going to try to, yeah, I would say go for a knockout here with a foul play, but the support, of course, into the Licky makes a lot of sense. I do enjoy the Ghost plus Licky core. It makes a lot of sense in the current meta. It makes a lot of sense just generally. But here, the foul play is coming in. We are getting them still low. To be fair, like we actually got them quite low. And I can even maybe force a shield here, which would be kind of cool. They have a ton of energy. They might want to keep the energy still, and they do. And I should not really shield here yet. That doesn't make too much sense to shield this move at all. Shadow Ball's coming in. We try our best to farm them down, and we can farm them down. So there's still the Jellicent, which is kind of tricky for us. I could decide to let this go, but I think it's best for me. Oh, okay, I'd actually let the move go. I didn't really expect it. I'm just going to try to see if I can win with Mewtwo then. It's a Bastion in the back. If I would have had Focus Blast, I maybe had a chance here, but I don't. And this is the thing that I feel like happens quite often with trying to use a Pokemon like Shadow Mewtwo, is that you lose with 2 shields left, which is kind of funny, because you can always keep the shields for Mewtwo at the back, but then you don't use them anymore because the opponent just farms it down anyway. So maybe not as ideal. Okay, Talonflame lead is actually not too bad. That's the funny thing about Steelix. It's just actually against Talonflame, you do have a very solid 2-shield scenario. Like, there's not a lot they can do about it. Here, try to catch the move. They stop out into Credilli. That's fine by me. That is actually totally okay. They have currently 80 energy on the Talonflame, which we have to kind of keep in mind. They need 1 more to get to 2 Flame Charges. So, like, yeah, it is kind of what it is. We're going to be able to let the move go here from the Credilli. It's going to be the Rock Tomb. And we're going to try our best to go for up to 2 Foul Plays. Actually, this is fine here. 1 below means the opponent has to go for a Charge Move with a Talonflame out to knock me before I get to my next move. That's, I think, kind of more the ideal play here. If they go Talonflame, I still get to another move in time, and they go Talonflame. They go right into my trap. I am going to be able to now go for the foul play, get the final shield, and go for Mewtwo, which is able now to get a ton of energy against the opponent. They go for the Flame Charge, not too surprising, and I can shield up again. They could very likely go for another Flame Charge here, but Fly makes sense as well. And in the back is going to be more Pekko. And I want to try to win this with my Mewtwo. So let's see on how things are going to go here. We're going to have the Aura Wheel coming in, doing some double resisted damage. Don't know why that just... Okay, I guess I want to boost down and attack up. But I forced to go for basically another Aura Wheel in order to knock us out. But here is the beauty of it all. We are going to be able to go for the Psychic Fangs, which is going to drop the opponent's defense, but also we are going to have still the X to our charge moves on our Mewtwo, which means that we should be kind of fine here at knocking them out. We should be able to get another move off against the opponent here, which is going to be the Side Strike. That is going to be totally fine, and yeah, we're going to be able to move on to the next opponent, where we will face Altaria against us. That is yeah, a Pokemon that we can deal with, absolutely. Like, it's not the worst Pokemon ever, like, don't get me wrong. But they have Flamethrower. Like, we have to be a bit mindful. They have Flamethrower. They're going to do some solid damage. Our backline is actually maybe considerable better. Like, realistically. Like, I mean, it's all kind of neutral. It's all kind of neutral here. We still support into another Bastion. Like, honestly, like, it wasn't my day here. Getting so many Bastions against me is quite wild. Like, you wouldn't really have that many Bastions usually. But it is what it is. We're going to be able to go for the foul play here against the opponent. Maybe we can still win this battle against this very tough opponent. Let's see here. There is going to be another charge move coming in. We can shield this move up because we kind of need to get rid of the Bastion as fast as possible. I just try to utilize my Sableye now for this job. And I try my best to even get to another move here, which would be fantastic after this one. But let's see, they're going to go for a shield, and we still reach another foul play in time. And this is actually crucial because now they might be trying to go for the full farm down here, which they do. But like, I'm actually okay with that. I have my Steelix. Okay, they stop onto the Altaria anyway. I let this go, and I can go for my Mewtwo full farm down. And I feel like that's going to be alright. As long as the opponent doesn't get to a move here, that would be kind of difficult if they get to a move here. They don't. We should be in an okay spot. They're going to reveal, of course, a Bastion here. And we can just use a shield, but we have a ton of energy. As long as you don't resist our Psychic and Ghost type damage, you should be kind of fine. I'm gonna farm them all the way down. We have needed 2 Side Strikes stored. In the back is going to be Empoleon, and yes, we can go for another Side Strike against the opponent here. This is not going to be enough to knock them out, absolutely not. But another one is, and so Mewtwo is actually able to win us this battle here, thanks to all of the Side Strike damage. Fantastic gameplay. So let's take a look here real quick at the next opponent, where we see yet another Shadow Celio. This Pokemon is quite tough for us, for our backlane at least, like, because it's so spammy. But here is actually an alright lead because we could do so much force move pressure. And the support into the Melma into our Sableye, this is absolutely fantastic, by the way. This is fantastic for us to just generally play here. As you can see, we're going to try to go for more foul plays, and this is working out super well. As you can see here, we're going to be able to just go ahead, let the move go for another charge move, and this is now enough to knock them out most likely. Yes, it is, and we have no shield advantage, we have switch advantage, but we have the issue here now that there is going to be the opponent with a Surf here. Do I shield this move up? I do not. I can still take one and I swap out, and they have the Giratina in the back. Any other Pokemon would have been fine. If I shielded, I would have been fine. I would have won this immediately as well. But this is what it is. We are going to sadly see here that we are not going to be having a chance against the Giratina. I could try to go for the full farm down, but realistically, I am not going to be able to survive the fast moves, and so I'm just going to give up here. Good game to the opponent. Just wrong shield decision by me. If I just shielded up the one earlier, I would have been fine. But let's move on to the next opponent. This is going to be the final one, and honestly, I'm kind of getting sick of Bastions. Like, they're absolutely everywhere. I find that kind of mad. Let's see what they're going to try to do here. We're going to have, the Flamethrower coming through, of course. And I could have the Earthquake, which would do a ton of damage. But let's see, we're going to see the shield coming up from the opponent. It's actually really good for us because we don't have the Earthquake. We just have Crunch. They're not going to shield this one. Absolutely not. But I could see this as an opportunity for Sableye to maybe even come in and try its best. Because Sableye is just the faster Pokemon to get to a move. And so we see here the Flamethrower coming in. We're going to swap out into our Sableye. And we are going to be able to outspeed the opponent as well. Which might force us to get the KO here before they even able to do anything else. And this is working out actually quite solidly. As we have now a shield advantage. We have the Sableye against Sableye, which is also again actually brilliant. Because I don't want to have this Pokemon against my own Mewtwo. So I'm gladly taking this matchup. I just have to keep a shield and then go for foul plays in order to do as much damage as possible. But let's see on how things gonna go. We are going to be able to go for a foul play here into an Azumarill, and this is going to change basically everything. This is going to be so difficult for us now because now I have a foul play which I can use against the opponent's Sableye basically in the back. But the issue is here now that I am forced to try to knock them out with our Mewtwo. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do that. Psyshock is landing. Okay, that is already very promising. That's going to do a lot of damage here. Is it enough to knock them out? It actually is. And they are going to go for the full farm down. So it's now who wins Team P-Tai? It's not me. And that is going to lose me the final battle. That was actually quite fun. And I didn't really expect this one at the end at all. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like and I will see you then. Bye-bye.